Hey, welcome back to B-Roll Show, the show where we talk about pretty much anything we want, from movie reviews to game reviews to just basic bullshitting. And today, we're going to go over some questions that we asked you guys. So last week we went out and asked you guys some questions, and we asked you the question, if you had a time machine that could only be used for evil, what would you go back in time and change? This is what you guys said.
Hi, I'm Aiden for Proper Villain Films, and I am out here in a local unnamed bar asking everyone a question that truly matters, or at least should inspire at least some thought. What if you had an evil time machine that you could only use once, and its use could only be for evil? You could only make history worse. For example, were I gifted this curse, I would go back and kill Moses so that all the Jews would be enslaved in Egypt forever, forever ruining mass media for everyone. On to the crowd.
Man, that is a weird question. I guess what I would do, I would probably go back in time and I would expose Thomas Jefferson with pictures of him and all them slave women's and all of his slave children. That's what I would.
Off the top of your cuff, maybe not involving Hitler, just, and first thing that comes to your mind.
Kill Mother Teresa. Oh, that's an interesting question. Time machine. And yeah, I have to make history worse?
You can only make history worse. You have no other option.
Right. I don't know. Prevent people from discovering fire?
That's solid. What would you do if you went back in history and could only make history worse?
I would actually run my husband over instead of just hit him with the car.
Would that make history worse?
Yes. No, we make it better.
All right, if I could make any moment in history a little bit worse with a time machine of evil, it would be slavery. Because I feel like the only way that they could ever get out of this Obama shit is if we made slavery a little bit longer. Then maybe they'd understand that, you're not going to get a free phone from Obama. That's just shit. It's just not going to happen. You know what I mean? You're going to get Medicare and get fucked in the ass. But that's just my personal opinion on black people.
I would sabotage the women's rights movement. Push it back about 20 years.
If I could go back in time, I would give Joseph Mengele a copy of The Human Centipede.
I would make Adam eat the apple first. And then we'd see who was suffering when and who was enslaved when.
If I could go back in time, rap music will never be invented. I'll slap the shit out of the first person who ever thought rhyming, Dr. Seuss rhyme. There would be no rap music if I could go back in time. No rap music, period.
What would you do if you only could go back in time once and only do things that make history worse?
I would give Hitler the Iron Man armor. I feel like the only thing that just made his plans not come, he didn't have a decisive edge, so he could kill a lot of people with the Iron Man armor. I feel that he wasn't given a fair shake.
I think overall the responses were horrible. Both in the quality that some of them were really unimaginative and we didn't want to bother with them, and horrible in the way that we were looking for, wherein you guys really would have fucked up planet Earth. This is good stuff.
Yeah, I was surprised. Some people, without prompt, they knew what they were going to say.
Yeah, some people took maybe 30 seconds tops, or some people had shit right off the tip of their head.
They were waiting for
ready
this question.
to go. They were waiting for this opportunity.
So, what would you go back in time and fuck up for the rest of the world?
I would have given the bubonic plague to cavemen. Yeah, we would not have lasted.
No, probably not.
Yeah.
I think what I would have done was I would have somehow, well, first of all, I would have waited till we could genetically alter fruits much better, and then go back in time to biblical times and genetically alter all the grapes to be poisonous, because they couldn't drink water, so they drank a lot of wine. Yeah. So then all the wine is now poisoned, and so when Jesus is turning all the water into wine, he's mass party murder.
Yeah. Maybe go back and thwart the spread of Christianity so that there's nobody really to oppose the Vikings. We'd all just be either Vikings or Viking rape slaves.
I'm okay with this. I'm okay with that.
That's a pretty rad world.
I'm pretty sure I'm already descended from a Viking rape slave. I mean, my family comes from Sweden.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. So you guys were at least part Viking, one way or another. All right, just for a double whammy, we actually also added a second question onto this in case we didn't have enough material for the first. But here we go. What is the biggest animal that you think you could take in a fair fight? Just you, nothing but you and the animal.
Hi, it's Aiden again, and we're doing more interviews for B-roll. This week's question is, what is the biggest animal you think you can take in a fight? I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie to myself. I'm not going to lie to my loved ones. A hamster.
I think I could take on a giraffe, you know, just lure it down with branches and some leaves, and then just grab one of those horns and just, twist its neck over and over again, so. They got those long tongues, so that's a plus.
A walrus. I think the biggest animal I could beat up in a fight would be a penguin, because all they do is flap, so I could just missile kick them, and that would be the end of the fight.
I'm telling you right now, if I got in a fight with any animal, if I could think of size, it'd be a cougar. A wild fucking cougar with no legs. That would be a fight that I would win 100%, 9 times out of 1,000. I would with no legs. I would win 100%. A cougar with no legs.
The biggest animal I think I could probably take in a fight is like a wasp. Because like no matter what people say, every time a wasp is around, people act like bitches. It's like, oh my God, and they never try to like attack the wasp. They just swat, like blowing air, like this kills wasp. So fuck what anyone says tonight. Says, oh, like I take a gorilla, or I think I can take a panda bear. They're pussies. Like no, they can't. A wasp, because everybody turns into a bitch when there's a wasp. Don't believe me? Put a wasp nest outside your fucking window and then see how many people go and take it out. Nobody. Wasp. This big, that's the biggest I can take.
The biggest animal I could take in a fight? I mean, how big do dolphins get?
Some of those were pretty good.
Some were all right. There were a lot, people are really down on themselves, I think. There were a lot of answers like a house cat or a rabbit.
Some people said some really dumb jokes like masturbation, notorious kind of. I mean, we're
better than that, and therefore better than you.
Yeah, but what's the biggest animal you think you could take?
I myself, I think if I had a big enough rock, maybe an elephant.
I know I can take on an elephant for sure. They're kind of slow.
They're also like horrible rampaging animals, but I don't know. I'd have to think about that. I could definitely take like a cheetah.
Yeah.
Cheetahs are pretty big for a cat, but they're not that tough comparatively. And I think I could get my hands on its neck. If I can reach my hands to its neck, I can probably kill it.
I don't know what the biggest animal I could take, but I'm pretty sure I could probably beat just about every kind of dog. Like, now people always say, well, what about like a pit bull or something like that? Now, nobody ever thinks about it this way. What I would do is I would let them bite me, so now my hand is inside their mouth, and then I just jam it slowly into them, and now they're like, a pit bull glove.
I think I've talked about this before where if there were more than one pit bull, I would do the same and then use that pit bull to slug the other one.
Yeah. I mean, think about this. Like, take your kitty or your puppy or whatever, and like when they try to bite you, just stick your hand down their throat. They don't like it.
They're not a fan of that.
They don't like it at all. So I just do that, and then I grab like their heart or something.
I don't think that's how anatomy works, but you can certainly try.
Dog anatomy might work.
Dog anatomy, different from humans. Now there's that. I think that only works up to a point. Like when you're getting into like a huge like mastiff or something that stands as tall as a man, I think those tricks no longer work.
No, just my upper torso.
You're just like, fine, you hungry? Just kind of pulling yourself in there and just start punching at its lungs.
I call it the Men in Black strategy.
And get inside to defeat them.
Yeah, it's been proven to work.
In Men in Black.
Yes,
yeah.
So if you guys have your own answers to these questions, you didn't get a chance, maybe you don't live around here, go ahead and leave what your answer would be in the comments.
I'm really interested to see how you think you could ruin the animal kingdom as well as our own history.
Mm-hmm.